Alright, this is week 11 and I'm going to be demonstrating a short configuration of a new trunk port and working with VTP, which is Virtual Trunking Protocol. It is proprietary protocol that propagates the definition of virtual local area networks, VLAN, on the whole local area network. So to do this, VTP carries VLAN information to all the switches in a VTP domain, which I have named as Mike, which is my domain, and I'm going to show you what I did and what I learned. So I do notice that trunk ports can access more than one VLAN. It is a point-to-point connection, and switch port mode trunk is what I used here with our server. As you can see, we go up, you can see our VLAN brief. To see what we had by default. Then we configured T. Then we used our command switch port mode trunk, which is a permanent trunking interface. So it connects both our switches and it reduces administration on the switch network using VTP. So we have our server, transparent, and client. So like I said, we were on switch port mode trunk. Then we ended up going to VLAN 20 and we ended up naming them. And then we ended up ending that and we went to, as you can see, we showed VLAN brief again and it shows what we had just right up here with name VLAN 40 to name 004. So we have our VLANs that we made, and we also got rid of VLANs. As we can see here in my command, we did no VLAN 20 and then we hit N and then we showed our VLAN and bam, we got rid of that VLAN there. So this is my trunking port right here for switch 2, and you can see that I named it Mike. Here's my VTP domain, and you can see the VTP operating mode is a server. So now we will be going over to our other switch here, which is going to be our client switch. You can see that, and you can see in the top we did a show VLAN brief, and it shows everything by default. We did a configure T, and then we hit no VLAN 30, and it didn't let us just because it was in client mode. So you have to be able to do it through the server side, which was the middle switch we had. And you can see our VLAN is still the same that we had right up here. And so then we can show our VTP status, and it does show that we had a mic and we had it as a client. So then we're going to go to our last transparent server we have here. As you can see, it says transparent. It doesn't have a domain name because transparent mode only allows everything to flow through. And so up here you can see our command lists. We have configure T, VTP mode transparent. So we made this switch our transparent. We enabled it, then we ended it. Then you can see our show VLAN brief, and you can see our VTP is running. So that's what we learned there with our 3 switches, and we had a new trunk port right here, and we had VTP, transparent, client, and server mode. Yeah, so upon completion of this assignment, we did check what VLANs are present on the switches, and we added some and we removed some on our server, and we reconfigured VTP settings for transparency, client, and server mode, and we also made a domain name for our server and clients, which was Mike. Instead of ogit.com, I named it as Mike. And then, so we configured to be Mike, our VTP domain. And one thing I learned about native VLANs services are typically developed with backwards compatibility. It's for transversing access and trunk ports. And overall, just learning about the connection between 2 switches, which is a trunk port, passing any VLAN point to point, allowing you to extend VLANs across an entire network. So, and we did some configurations defining allowed VLANs on a trunk, which we did switch port mode trunk configuration on our server, and we allowed VLANs, and then we also removed VLAN 10. So as native VLAN is going to be on VLAN 1, as native VLAN should not be used for anything else. So that is my assignment for Networking 11. Thank you for watching.